they did a deep dive into my blood work and my genetics, and found some things and some indications that that put me in a very high category, a risk category for Alzheimer's. And it was a real shock, the first kind of instance I found that out, but became a wonderful motivator to make changes and do things differently.
There has been a fair amount of rumors surrounding Chris Hemsworth since his time in Thor 4 and the downfall of that, and what had happened to him with finding out about his potential with Alzheimer's disease that he was at risk for. With the news that he was at risk for the disease, he has had to clarify with fans that he in fact does not have it, but is at risk for the development of it later in life. Because of this, he had to slow down taking on new acting roles.
Well, I just finished shooting Furiosa with George Miller. It's a part of the Mad Max saga, and that often I get a script and I know from the first read, the second read, I know who the character is, and I get an instant sort of visceral kind of feeling attached to it, and I go, right, got it, right. This I had read 2 years before I started shooting, and was in awe of the script. It's the most beautiful thing I've read. I love George Miller.
It really kind of pissed me off because it felt like I had been vulnerable with something personal and shared this, Chris said in an interview. No matter how much I said, this is not a death sentence, the story became that I have dementia and I'm reconsidering life and retiring and so on. Even though he had potentially slowed down from talking on more frivolous roles, he had since been in Extraction 2, more recently he is set to be in Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, and, spoiler alert, is actually set to be in Deadpool and Wolverine in the cast list as a cameo. He is also set to be in Transformers 1 as a voice role, so for that role it wouldn't be so hard on him or strenuous, and possibly in 2025 there is another film called Project X. Whether that's the title of the film or an in-development project name is unknown.
How much higher?
Probably somewhere between 8 and 10 times higher than that of someone in the general population.
The idea that I won't be able to remember the life I've experienced, or my wife, my kids, this is probably my biggest fear.
While Thor 5 is not on his list of projects, it is in development right now, and there is word of course that Chris is attached while Taika Waititi is not, with many blaming Taika Waititi for having too much creative freedom on the 4th film, and the reason that Taika is not on the 5th project. Chris also mentioned recently that he blames himself for not taking the role too seriously at the time. At the same time, during the promotional behind-the-scenes moments of Thor 4, it's apparent that Taika and Chris have a chemistry together working on many projects and possibly spent more time goofing around than creating a good storyline for Thor.
It's every other Sunday, what I do on the weekends, my family, friends, I already have it. And I think for most of us, that's it, it's right there in front of us. If we stop sort of looking too far into the future or into the past and so on, what we have right in front of us is the most truthful thing, and it's the most beautiful thing, and I had a much greater acceptance then of my place in the world.
Obviously, Chris Hemsworth is not on the fence about retirement in the slightest and will continue doing what he loves. He even spoke about Thor a little bit while doing another interview for the upcoming Furiosa, talking about how he doesn't like wearing the capes for superhero movies. But we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What do you think about all this, and what other projects do you hope to see him in? If he does change his mind and actually does retire one day, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys!